When I was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer in August 2025, I went looking for something to help my nervous system cope. And I landed on a product that no one should be without. Hi, I'm Yasmin, intuitive mentor for life and business, and I'm sharing my experience because when you receive a cancer diagnosis, you want practical ways to support the emotional and physiological shock that follows. Resonance energy wear was one tool that helped me stay regulated, and I want to explain exactly what it is, how it works, and how it helped me, and why, even when you're not struggling with a disease, you should have this product in your life. After my diagnosis, my symptoms were rapidly worsening, so much so that leaving the house became difficult and I barely went out for 2 months. The tumour was growing fast and surgery just was not an option given the location of the tumour and how it was spreading. I was recommended 5 rounds of chemo. I actually stopped after 3 due to the side effects, and 25 sessions of radiotherapy. Up until that point of conventional treatment, I'd been using holistic treatments to heal, which is how I healed the first time I had cancer in 2012 and remained healthy up until now. This time, holistic treatment alone seemed to be failing, and I wasn't coping mentally, although most people around me didn't see this as I was focusing on the momentary wins. Stress and life-changing situations had compounded from the year prior, and then the diagnosis had really rocked my confidence and mental health, leaving my energy fragmented and scattered. So I knew I needed additional support. I was looking for something that could support my body and help me stay grounded through the unknown. That said, as a psychic, I could see that I was still going to be just fine, but I still had to navigate the journey the best that I could. So after finding Resonance Energy Wear on TikTok, I signed up for their newsletter. And then as soon as they had their first release, I was in and bought several products. So the cap, which is beautiful because it has the resonance detail on the edge of the cap, which is it's a really nice touch actually. Unisex, fully adjustable, really comfortable, looks really smart. The hoodie that I'm wearing, which was gifted to me after I told Luke the story of what I was going through and also how I plan to use Resonance Energy Wear to help me to support myself through the journey of healing cancer. Their product range is huge. They've got everything. These are shorts here. The fabric and the quality is amazing. I've also got a knee brace, which I actually wear on my wrist, socks, jackets. I mean, the range is really, really good. There's something for everyone and at every budget. And to be honest, I did not expect miracles. I expected a placebo at best. What I got was totally unexpected. Small yet impactful shifts over time that made a big difference for how I could show up for myself and the experience of the treatment. If you're curious about wearables, biofield tech, or just looking for ways to ride out a scary diagnosis without the overwhelm, stay with me. I'll be sharing a link at the end for part 2 and how Resonance Energy Wear helps me during chemo and radiation. So what is Resonance Energy Wear? In plain and simple terms, it's clothing infused with natural minerals designed to interact subtly with your body's energy systems. It's wearable technology intended to support how your body regulates itself. There are 3 main mechanisms the brand talks about. Far infrared, when your body warms to the fabric, the minerals re-emit gentle far infrared energy back into the tissues. And this has been studied for things like circulation and tissue recovery. Bioelectric tuning. The minerals are engineered to subtly interact with your body's electrical signals to support neuromuscular coordination and balance. Very important for the treatment that I received because it was something I was really affected by. And subtle electrical field interaction. The fabric creates a very low-level energetic interaction with the skin that aims to calm and organize your body's biofield. The electromagnetic or energetic field around us, which is what you would get through earthing or grounding if you're familiar with that. None of this is presented as medicine. it's presented as supportive wearable tech. With that said, there are more and more examples emerging of how resonance energy wear is helping people with carpal tunnel, Tourette's, sports injury and recovery, and much, much more. This is how I use resonance energy wear prior to treatment. After my diagnosis landed, I made a choice. I'd wear resonance as much as possible with one clear intention: to help regulate my nervous system and stay present in my body during a traumatic time. I wanted to know if the clothing alone could do this, so I didn't add any more supplements or grounding tools, so I could test it for what it actually was. And here's what I noticed almost instantly. My anxiety softened. Moments that felt uncertain and fearful calmed. I became more present instead of mentally checking out because of what was happening. I felt more grounded. And that's even though I live in a first floor apartment with no garden and using this wearable technology in the middle of winter. So there was no opportunity to put bare feet on ground and get that electromagnetic feedback from nature. These are small subjective shifts. Small, but cumulatively, they changed how I tolerated treatment and uncertainty. What also really resonated was the story behind the brand. The founder, Luke Ollie, started Resonance after his dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and he saw how using mineral-infused clothing dramatically improved his father's quality of life and mental health. And that became the seed for this whole technology. Performance wear built at the intersection of advanced materials science, natural minerals, and the human energy system. The intention mattered to me when everything else felt mechanical and clinical. Now for the science. There's legitimate research on mineral-based fabrics and far-infrared textiles, especially in sports and recovery, showing benefits like better circulation, reduced perceived muscle fatigue, and improved recovery metrics. Resonance energy wear doesn't replace conventional medicine. However, it can reduce how you experience symptoms. And for me, it's been a huge energetic regulatory support as well as a tool for recovery. If you want to know what happened when I wore resonance through chemo and radiotherapy, the surprises, the setbacks, and what actually changed in my body and energy, watch part 2. I'll walk through my experiences and practical tips with using resonance. And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who's facing a scary diagnosis or has a health issue that they need support with. Comment below with your thoughts and questions, and I will see you soon.